Hey guys, Felix here. A lot of you on the stream have requested that I come out with an Unholy DK macro guide, so today I logged on the PTR and I decided to make a basic Unholy DK macro guide. Now this is going to cover the basic macros that are going to help you start playing an Unholy DK, and it's going to help improve your game style, gameplay performance. These are not going to include focus macros, like focus, death grip, and stuff like that, because those are pretty easy, but these are going to just be general macros that are going to help improve your gameplay. So, let me know if this helps, guys, and let's get started because we have a lot to cover because DKs need a ton of macros, so let's get started. The first macro that I want to talk about, guys, is your pet macro. So this is a general macro that's pretty simple, and what it basically does, not only does it minimize your action bars so you don't have as many spells on, because it's literally 3 spells in one. So the first part of it is your raise dead. So say your pet dies, you don't have to have raise dead on the same action bar function. So that's going to be your raise dead macro. So when your pet is up, it turns into Dark Transformation. And not only that, you can use the same macro to use Blood Tap. So basically it's 3 spells in one. So basically you get your Raise Dead if your pet dies, and then you got your Blood Tap that you can hit, and then when you hit Dark Transformation at 5 stacks, then you can hit that as well right there. So that's actually a really helpful macro, guys. And since DKs have a lot of focus macros, a lot of macros in general, it's pretty helpful when you get macros that can minimize the amount of stuff that you have to put in your action bars. So that's the first macro. Now, this is an optional thing, but I got asked on the stream why my pet is on passive. Now, the reason for that is because, as you can see, I have most of my spells bound to petattack. Now this is optional. You can only have a few of these bound if you want. But I like binding all of them because it's a little bit more responsive. So what this does is it makes your pet a lot more responsive to attacks, so when you're going for a hard switch, especially in arena, it's literally instant the way that your pet switches. And I'm giving you guys an example with and without these macros. So as you see right now, I'm switching, and I'm constantly switching targets, and my pet is literally instantly switching targets, constantly switching. Now, I'm going to show you guys an example of when I don't use these macros. Right here is what happens when I don't use these macros. So I'm switching, and watch how long it takes the pet to actually notice that I'm attacking this guy. It's a few seconds, it's about 5 seconds of delay. So I'm attacking the other target dummy, and then he's switching. I'm attacking the other target dummy, and then he's switching. So, versing the other thing where you're actually macroing a pet attack into your actual attacks is actually a huge difference. So that's why I have most of my spells bound to pet attack. Another helpful macro is your presence macro. Now again, this is going to minimize the amount of stuff that you need on your action bars. It's a cast sequence macro. So basically, you can hit the same button and go in and out of an Unholy Presence and Blood Presence. You can also use this as your Frost Death Knight, just switch up Unholy with Frost Presence. Another helpful macro is your Lichborne macro. Now what this is going to do is also going to minimize the amount you're going to have to put on your bars, but you basically pop Lichborne and you can hit the same thing and you can heal yourself, so you don't have to target yourself. You can just heal yourself with this macro. Now even if you guys don't use the pet attack macro method, I would at least macro Blood Tap into your Soul Reaper and your Necrotic Strikes. The reason for that is because those two require death runes, and Blood Tap's obviously going to give you death runes. So just in case you don't want to hit E to use a death rune to Dark Transformation your pet, yada yada, you would be able to spam those Necrotic Strikes or your Soul Reapers, and you would automatically cast Blood Tap and then Soul Reaper, if that makes sense. So I'd at least try using a /cast Blood Tap in those two, so keep that in mind. As you guys can see, the next macro is your gnaw pet macro. Now, before you implement this macro, make sure on your pet action bar that the gnaw isn't actually highlighted. If it's highlighted, it should be sparkling and highlighted on the outside. What it's going to do is that means that your pet's going to use it willy-nilly. He's basically going to use it whenever he wants, and you don't want that. You want to be the master and he's the minion, so you command him to gnaw whenever you want. So make sure you take that off by simply right-clicking the actual picture. Sorry guys, but make sure you just unclick that, and it should be good. So then you can implement that macro so you can use gnaw whenever you want. Same thing with lead. The last macro that I want to talk about, guys, is basically your petfollow macro. Now this also goes back to why I have my pet on passive, But what it's going to do is it's basically going to make your pet follow you. So say your pet goes out into Africa to go hit someone because he doesn't like him, and you want him to come back because he's going to get switched on because he's going to die. So I have my death coil bound in there because generally that's what happens and he needs to heal. So he's going to be coming back to me and I can hit him with a death coil. You can also just have a /petfollow macro, just literally /petfollow if you don't want to implement the death coil. But that's that macro. That's basically just a general beginner's Unholy DK macro guide. Now, I didn't really put in the burst macros, I didn't really put in the other stuff, I just put in stuff that's going to be helpful to you and that not many people know. So, hope this answered you guys' questions. If you have any questions for me, feel free to leave it in a comment below and I'll answer it as quickly as I can. Fastest I'll answer it is probably a few hours, if not the latest 24 hours, but I'm pretty good about getting back to you guys. So again, let me know if you have any questions. Hope this helped. Make sure you tune into the stream. I try to stream every night. If I don't stream, it's probably because of the weather, because I've been getting a lot of rain here recently. But again, hope you guys enjoyed, hope it helped, and hope to see you in the next video. Take care, guys, and have a wonderful day.